Testing, testing.
Hey, hold a second. Grandma's very nice. She just told me, I don't care what you do, but it's...
Yeah, pull it up. What?
November is a special day, not a special day. You might hear my voice, I'm going to do the best I can. So everyone knows the Gemara says in Yavamas that Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 students. And Kuamesu, the Parakecha, who was Magefa, they all passed away. Pesach, the Philad Boimer. And the Gemara says, as we know, that the cause of the death of the Talmid Rabbi Akiva was because we know who covered Zebizah. They didn't treat each other with COVID, we know who covered Zebizah. And they stopped by Lag Boimer. Now Lag Boimer also was the Elul of Yussie. So, at the end of the Histalkus of the Talmid Rabbi Akiva, which was because of Leilui who covered Zebizah, coincides the same day as the Elul of Rashbi, so it must be that the Indian of Mevakshei is deeply connected to the Indian of being Noyik of Zebizah. With that, there's a Gemara that's about. If Mevakshei is the Indian of Nog who covered Zebizah, of not creating conflict between you, if I care to Nog who covered Zebizah, says Gemara Brachas, that's a Pel. It's a relatively well-known Gemara, so I'll just run through the basic story. The Gemara says that Rabbi Gamliel was the Nasi. It's Gemara in the Brachas of him. So Rabbi Gamliel was the Nasi. And the Gemara says that what happened was the Talmud once asked Rabbi Yeshua, is Tfilas Arvis Rishus or Chayva? You have to have the Shachris. You have to have Mincha. It's Chayvis. Is Meir V'chiv or is it only Rishus? So the Talmud asks Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua says Rishus. It's only voluntary. Then he goes, this Talmud goes to Rabbi Gamliel. And he asks Rabbi Gamliel the same question. Doesn't say that he asks Rabbi Yeshua, he asks Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Gamliel says Chayva, it's a Chiv. And then the Talmud says, yeah, I asked Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua said it's Rishus. So Rabbi Gamliel says, okay. So they wait until, he says, wait until all the Talmid and the Chacham come into the base medrash. And Rabbi Gamliel, the Talmud poses the question, is Meir V'chiv or Rishus? So Rabbi Gamliel says, Chayva. The room is silent. And so Rabbi Gamliel says, does anyone disagree? No one says anything. Rabbi Gamliel says, Rabbi Yeshua, I was told that you say Rishus. They disagree. So Yeshua says, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. So Yeshua gets up. He says, Rabbi Gamliel says, stand up. So Yeshua stands up and he says, say your opinion. He says, yeah, I disagree with Rishus. And the Gemara says that Rabbi Gamliel continued to darshan, but he never gave Rishus for Rabbi Yeshua to sit down. So Rabbi Yeshua remained standing. And all the Chachamim were very disturbed by this. The Gemara says that they said that this is not the first time Rabbi Gamliel is being very overbearing against Rabbi Yeshua. The Gemara says that there's other occasions where this happened. It's Gemara Rosh Hashanah, it happened regarding Kedoshim, that he also, was a little strong with Rabbi Yeshua. There's Gemara B'charis, and also Rabbi Gamliel was strong with Rabbi Yeshua regarding the mitzvah of the carbon b'chor. And now this. So the Chachamim were very disturbed. The Gemara says that they all called out to Reb Chutzpah HaMeturgeman, the Meturgeman, the translator, the one that was sort of the human microphone for Rabbi Gamliel. And he was staying where Rabbi Gamliel, he was in the drush of Rabbi Gamliel. And everyone was so upset that Rabbi Yeshua was standing this whole thing, and this is the third time that happened. So they said they stopped Chutzpah HaMeturgeman until Rabbi Yeshua was allowed to sit down. And after the shiur was over, so the Gemara says that the Chachamim decided that we have to demote Rabbi Leilui. Can't be the Nasi anymore after this. So the Gemara says the whole thing. So who are we going to put instead? Rabbi Yeshua. That's not nice. He's mamish the one that caused it. So the Gemara says maybe Rabbi Akiva. Gemara says Rabbi Akiva is great, but he doesn't have Zchus office. And in order to be a Nasi, you have to have Zchus office. So the Gemara says they picked Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. Eliezer ben Azariah says the Gemara was obviously a great tzaddik and great Talmid Chacham. He was wealthy also. And he was the 10th generation to Ezra HaSofer. So he has Zchus office. So the famous thing the Gemara goes on. Eliezer ben Azariah was young, and miraculously he grew gray hairs. Okay. He asked his wife about it, and his wife says it's Gadi. So the Gemara says the kids of the Gemara goes on that day, when Eliezer ben Azariah was established as the new Nasi, so he changed the ruling in the Beis Medrash, and Shlita of Rabbi Gamliel, as we know, was Toichek and Baharai. The only ones that were allowed into the Beis Medrash were those that were of pure heart, that their pneumius was Toich. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah, who was of the other camp of Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Akiva, and so on, he yelled, no, everyone's allowed to come in. And so Rabbi was the son of the Beis Medrash, there was much more Talmidim. Because of that, there was much more Hatzlach and Siyat L'Shmayim learning. And the Gemara says the following thing, even after Rabbi Leilui was demoted, he still continued to go to yeshiva. And the Gemara says that what happened was a Shaila came to the Beis Medrash, a Ger Amoyni, someone that was from Amoyim, and he was a Ger. He wanted to know if he's allowed to marry in the fold. Allah is, it says in Pasuk, Amoyni le'avi le'yod v'kal Hashem. That an Amoyni, a Ger that's from Amoyim and Moav, is not allowed to marry a regular Bas Yisrael. So this person asked the question. Seems to be an obvious no. Rabbi Yeshua said he's allowed to. Rabbi Meir said, what do you mean Yeshua? It says in Pasuk you're not allowed. So he says, no, Sancheir already came and mixed up everybody. So he thinks he's your mom. Called the Persian or Persian. You go Pasaroi. There's no, all the nations are mixed up. Said Rabbi Gamliel, but doesn't the pasuk say that Hashem will return Amoy out of Golis? So Amoy returned, and therefore there's still Amoy, and he's legitimately from Amoy. Rabbi Yeshua said back, well, there's something that talk about the Jewish people also coming back from Golis, and that didn't happen yet. So just like that didn't happen, redemption of Amoy didn't happen either. And the Chachamim all agreed with Rabbi Yeshua. Said the Gemara, when Rabbi Gamliel saw that all the Chachamim agreed to Rabbi Yeshua, so he realized that he might have to make amends. So the Gemara says, he went to Rabbi Yeshua, and he asked for Mechila. It's all nice in the Gemara. Eventually, Rabbi Yeshua was Michael, and they decided that therefore he should be reinstated. Says the Gemara, but now what do we do? He can't demote Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah for no reason. And he can't just go 1 week, and have 2 leaders in the same way. So the Gemara says the Maskana was 3 weeks for Rabbi Gamliel, 1 week for Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. Fine, that's the Maisa. And the Gemara finally ends. The Oisei Talmud, that Talmud that made the trouble initially, the Rishon Yוחa'i. So like I said, the Rishon Yוחa'i is in Lulav BaOmer, is a day when the Indian of Loi Nogu Kavazebes ends. That means the Indian of Shimon is to bring people together. So now it's Kapella, that's after Rishon Yוחa'i, who is the Talmud that caused this machlekes between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua Lekach. Rabbi Gamliel was demoted in this whole Maisa after Rishon Yוחa'i. So it's therefore obvious, and the Gemara only waits till the end to say that it's Rishon Yוחa'i. So it must be that although in the beginning Rabbi Shimon seemed to cause this disconnect between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua, but ultimately his intention was to ultimately bring them together in this way, where now you had 2 Nisim. You had Rabbi Gamliel for 3 weeks, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah for the 4th week, Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah from the school and the camp of Rabbi Yeshua. And that ultimately was the intention of Rabbi Shimon. And Rabbi Shimon's intention came to fruition. But it had to go about this strange way of separating between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua. It says we have to understand this. What's the aim of this thing? So it's like this. The whole thing starts because the Chachamim were upset about how Rabbi Gamliel was treating Rabbi Yeshua. Now we have to understand that obviously you can't take this too simply, because on the simple level, Rabbi Gamliel was being too tough and being too strong and being too much of Gadi Chas v'Shalom, Yeshua, not being willing to hear other people's opinions. Chas v'Shalom, you can't say such a thing about Rabbi Gamliel. Not only is it obvious that it's tzaddik like Rabbi Gamliel is obviously doing things Hashem Shemayim, but even in the Gemaras it's clear like this. The first example of Rabbi Gamliel being a little bit tough with Rabbi Yeshua is regarding the case of Kedoshim, where he forced Rabbi Yeshua to agree to sort of back down and to go with Rabbi Gamliel's opinion. And the Gemara says in Rosh Hashanah, and that's the example that the Chacham gave the first time that Rabbi Gamliel was overbearing. And the Gemara says in Rosh Hashanah that when Rabbi Yeshua conceded and sort of backed off, the Gemara says, or the Mishnah says, that Rabbi Gamliel responded to Rabbi Yeshua by saying, "Thank you, my Rebbe, and thank you, my Talmud. Thank you, my Rebbe, because you're greater than me than Meron. And thank you, my Talmud, that you're willing to back down and let my psak, be the accepted opinion." The fact that Rabbi Gamliel says to Rabbi Yeshua, he refers to him as his Rebbe, obviously means that we're not talking about an Indian of Gadi over here. Evidently, there was some L'Shem Shemayim, there was some Indian that Rabbi Gamliel had to make his opinion accepted. So then why is everyone so upset? If it's from Kehilah, then we understand. Rabbi Gamliel doesn't deserve to be the Nasi that way. If it's not that, it was clearly L'Shem Shemayim. And that was his Shlita. His Shlita was that he has to be strong like this. So why is everyone getting upset? And what's this Indian that he stopped? Chutzpah Sametorgman. Chutzpah Sametorgman. You have to stop him from talking. Why did it come in that way? Why is it specifically that the catalyst of bringing peace was specifically by the halacha of the Ger Amayni being accepted by Khal Hashem? That's what Rabbi Gamliel, that the realization that he has to make shalom with Rabbi Yeshua. Why that halacha? And why in the end do they decide 3 and 1? I understand you can't do 1 and 1, because that's too, they'll be butt heads too much. So 2 and 1. Why 3 and 1? All right, so it's like this. There's a Torah from the Ramani Panu. Panu is a Sefer Kabuli Nishmas. And the Ramani Panu explains who Rabbi Gamliel was. In earlier Kabbalah, who was he? And with this Gilui of the Ramani Panu, you can understand the conflict, who it was and Mizari was, also. So the Ramani Panu says like this. He says that Rabbi Gamliel was the Gilgal of Nechemia. Ezra Nechemia. Who was Nechemia? Nechemia, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, was a descendant of David Melech. Zrubavel was his other name. And he was the leader of the Jewish people in returning to the land for the second Beis Hamikdash, along with Ezra HaSofer. Ezra was a Kohen. Nechemia was from Malchus Beis David. Now, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin that most of Sefer Ezra was actually written by Nechemia. So the question is, the Gemara asks, so why does Nechemia not have his own Sefer? Now you look on the storm shells and you'll find the Sefer Ezra and Nechemia. But according to Chazal, it's only called Sefer Ezra. The guy called it Ezra and Nechemia. According to Chazal, it's only called Ezra. So the Sefer Nechemia is sort of hidden within the Sefer Ezra. Why does Nechemia not have his own Sefer in that way? And it's ironic, most of the Sefer is written by him. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin asks the question. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin says the reason is because Nechemia had an Indian, that he would talk very strongly about himself. He would say, Zachreini no Chazdecha Hashem, you should remember my greatness. He would talk in that very strong, what would seem to be even overconfident, like a very strong, confident way. Because of that, he was demoted, so to speak, that he doesn't have his own sefer. Says Ramah Panu, that resurfaced in Rav Gamliel. This idiot of Nehemiah resurfaced in Rav Gamliel. And because of that, he was also demoted. And just as Nehemiah, his demotion was that he was nichlal and swallowed up in Sefer Ezra, and Ezra was a Kain. So to the next life, when Rav Gamliel repeats the same Indian, so he's demoted, and his Nesias is swallowed up in the Nesias of a blessed ben Azariah, who, as the Gemara says, was 10 generations from Ezra Sefer. And in fact, says Ramai Banu, Ezra ben Azariah was also Gilgal of Ezra. So this Indian of Ezra, Nehemiah and Ezra and Nehemiah, is repeating itself with Rav Gamliel. With Rav Gamliel versus the other camp, Yeshua, or Akiva, and ultimately Rav ben Azariah, who was a reincarnation of Ezra. So, with that, so now we have a broader question to ask. So we have this avoid of Rav Gamliel of being very strong, of being very aggressive in that way, of being talkative, of being out there, of making his opinion known, with a very strong ani, a very strong sense of self. This is an Indian that's deeply rooted in his neshama, and it goes back to Nehemiah. Nehemiah, this was Nehemiah's avodah, to talk in that tekifos, without tekifos. So, what is the avodah of this? If we identify what this avodah is, we'll understand what the Chachamim were concerned by. We'll see how Rav Shimon brings Shama. The Indian of Nehemiah of speaking with tekifos is, as I mentioned from the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Nehemiah was a descendant of Malchus Beis David. Not only was he the descendant of Malchus Beis David, Gemara says that if we were Zaycha, he would have been Mashiach. He would have been Mashiach. He would have been Mashiach ben David. So we understand, based on that it must be that this effort of Ezra, this avodah of him being very strong with tekifos, and very strong sense of ani, was his effort in order to be Megala, the side of Mashiach. Was Mudar and Gula. We understand that what is Galus? The ultimate definition of Galus is that the Shekhinah, the divine presence, the Malchus of Hashem, is Biskasia, is hidden. And the statement of Anoich Hashem Lekach, I am Hashem your God, the ani of all creation is not being heard and is not being said. The ani of creation has lost its voice. And that's the problem of those. That's the mitzvah of those. Where Hashem says, I'm retreating to a secret hidden place. But I'm not going to be out in the open. Nehemiah, whose Indian is the secret of Malchus Beis David. And what is Malchus Beis David? Malchus Beis David is the embodiment of the Shekhinah. When the Shekhinah is out in the open and revealed and strong, that's what Malchus means. Ein Melech Loyam. The definition of the king means someone who everyone sees and recognizes and accepts. If there's no hisgalos, if there's no articulation in a very strong way of that ani, if the melech doesn't have that tekifos, then he's not a melech. The whole Indian of Malchus Beis David is the microphone, is the expression of Hashem saying ani. Nehemiah, who's the side of Mashiach ben David, therefore his avodah is to say ani, is to be strong, to be confident, to be even brazen in his confidence, and to demand hashpois taivas, to demand good things for Khal Yisrael, because we deserve it. And that's literally what Nehemiah says. Following those in that mahalach comes Rav Gamliel, who's also a Gilgal of Nehemiah, who's also from Malchus Beis David, and has an avodah of what? Of expressing the strong confidence of ani. Not because it's not some. The reason is because that's going to be an expression of the Shekhinah coming out of Golus, revealing herself in such a way of Malchus. And that's the side of Gula. So that's where Ramil, that's where Nechem is coming from. What's bad about that? Why would anyone not want that? The other Chacham were concerned. What's the concern? This is current events. The concern of Rabbi Yeshua in the other camp is that the Lamaisa weren't Golas. The Lamaisa weren't Golas. And if the voice of the Shlita and that strength of Ani is able to be raised and revealed, it's going to shepa. It's going to shepa with the Sitra Achra. It's going to shepa with the nations of the world. It's going to cause kitrid. It's going to cause opposition. It's going to be abused and misused. And on a deeper level, the Yidden are unprepared for it. And because we're unprepared for that revelation of Ani, then that Ani is going to be hijacked by the Yetzer Hara to turn into Gaiva and Yeshas and an excuse to be weakened in one's avodas Hashem. Because everyone's great, and you're amazing, and you're confident, and because of that you're going to oversleep. This is a major concern by Rabbi Yeshua and the other Chachamim. Because of this, they say to Chutzpah Samaturgan, stop. It's not a coincidence that his name was Chutzpah. Chutzpah Samaturgan, Chutzpah comes from Chutzpah. On the Turgan, what's the job of the Turgan? Is to get the word out that everyone should know what should be revealed. Rav Gamliel's Inyan is a strong sense of Ani, a tekifus, confidence, a sense of self, Ani. And his Maturgaman, his name is Chutzpah. Say the Chachamim, we have to stop that. Because the Chutzpah and Maturgaman is going to cause, Chutzpah is going to cause azus. It's going to cause a brazenness, that it's coming, it's too much. It's too much, and it's going to cause a hisoiros, kiviyachal, from the other side. It's going to cause a kinship from the other side, like, because we're not ready for it. Right now, the Ani that's being expressed is a chutzpah dekani. It's a chutzpah dekani. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin that chutzpah, the definition of chutzpah is malchus b'lo toga, acting like a king, but there's no crown yet. That's what chutzpah means. So the Chacham are afraid that the whole dinner of the live right now is the exercise of chutzpah. It's an exercise of expressing Ani before the right time. Expressing Ani at a time where it's still galus. And because of this, it's going to cause, it's defined as an act of chutzpah. And because of that, it's going to cause a kitcher. And they weren't too off. Chutzpah Sabaturgan was one of the Asarei Gemalchus. It was one of the Asarei Gemalchus. Taisus and Bechayres points this out. This Gemara is also quoted, similar, a piece of it is quoted in Bechayres. Gemara Bechayres also says that he told Chutzpah Sabaturgan to stop. Taisus says in Bechayres, Chutzpah Sabaturgan was one of the Asarei Gemalchus. So it's a pelt. Taisus is a pelt. Who cares? What does that do with anything? What does that have to do with the fact that he's Asarei Gemalchus? It's irrelevant to the story. It's not irrelevant to the story. That's the Indian. That's the Indian. That's what we're afraid of. That's going to cause a kitchen. It's going to cause opposition. But Rai Chutzpah Sabaturgan is one of the Asarei Gemalchus. Because of this, Rav Gamliel is demoted, just like Khal was demoted, and in his place, Ezra HaSofer, or in the next incarnation, Rav Elazar Azariah. Ezra and Rav Elazar Azariah is the side of Kohen Gadol, whereas Nehemiah is Melech, Ezra HaSofer is a Kohen, and he was the Gadol Adar, so he's the Chniz Kohen Gadol. Rav Elazar Azariah is also the Chniz Kohen Gadol. That's why part of the whole thing with Rav Elazar Azariah is his beard turning gray. It says in Pasuk regarding Aaron HaKohen that Zakan Aaron Sheyal B'Midayis. It says in Pasuk that one of the beauty, the greatness of Aaron HaKohen was expressed in his beard. So the image of the beard is connected with Kahuna, specifically Kahuna. So this is so what's happening now is as follows. To replace the Avodah of Rav Gamliel, we now have the Avodah of the Kohen Gadol. What's the Kohen Gadol? Whereas the Melech is out in the open, and the ani of the melech is expressed openly, which the Chacham are afraid of, or if Yulil sees it as they take it for Gula. Kohen Gadol is min hamikdash lo yetze. Kohen Gadol is a state of being hidden, being concealed, of being only secluded, of connecting to the Shechina, specifically in Golas, in a way that's tzniistic, in a way that's modest, in a way that's concealed. And the Chachamim, therefore, sort of rally behind Elazar and Azariah. They rally behind the site of the Kohen Gadol as opposed to the site of Melech, because what they're trying to establish is, in order to avoid kitcher, in order to avoid any opposition from the other side, they establish a Mahalach, which is the Adrab. There's a deeper connection to the Shechina you can have Dafki in Golas, when the Shechina is hidden and the Shechina is concealed, and there's a side of the Kohen Gadol, which is Min HaMikdash Lo Yetze, of not being allowed out, and Dafka in that place of Hester, and that place of concealment, which forces a Yid to look inward and to go into those deeper aspects. That's where you'll find the Shechina, and that's where it has to be during Golas, and we celebrate and we follow the lead of the Kohen Gadol. That was the opposition. So this is the conflict between the two of them. So what's the Mahalach? Do we say that Yidden, to get out of Golas, need to be strong and express Nani, to be confident, and to almost act as if Mashiach already came? Or is it the opposite, or is that too dangerous? And the Mahalach is, fakert, you have to be concealed, you have to go up in the storm, and you have to go the way of the Kohen Gadol. The outside world is too dangerous, and you can't be Meir any awakening of the other side. You can't be Meir chutzpah, otherwise you'll be chutzpah. So which one is it? So it's machlokes. Comes Reb Shimon Yוחאi, and Reb Shimon gives us the Pesach to understand both and to explain how they're both necessary and they don't conflict with each other. And that's from this machlokes of whether Meir is Rishos or Khal. Let's think about this for a second. Shachris is chiyuv, mincha is chiyuv. Why is Meir a question? The answer is simple. Al pi nigla. According to Nigla, why we have Meir? It's the Rambam writes. Shachris is for Talmud Shel Shachar, which is a chiyuv. Mincha is for Talmud Shel Ben Rabbi. It's a chiyuv. What's Meir? Any leftover fats, any leftover limbs that happen to not be burned during the day, if they're left over, you can burn them at night. That's Rishus. Doesn't always happen. It's not always necessary. Even if you didn't burn the fats, you still get to the carbon anyway with just 3 kasadam. So as far as Allah is concerned, Al pi nigla feels our should be Rishus. Now Al pi nister, Al pi pinius, according to the Kisari, it's not like that at all. According to Kisari, Shachris is Misakin, Pnimius, Oilimus. Mincha is Misakin, the middle section of Oilimus. And Meir is Misakin, Chitzonis Oilimus. In other words, without getting into the details, the point is, Meir is absolutely necessary in terms of the Tikkunim of Daven. So in Pnimius, just like Shachris is necessary, and Mincha is necessary, Meir is also necessary. Feels Arvas Choyah. The machlokes is between Rabbi Gula and Rabbi Yeshua, whether it feels Arvas Choyah or it feels Arvas Rishos. Rabbi Shimon Yוחאi is forcing the point to bring out this truth, that they're coming from different places. Not only are they coming from different places, they're existing in different places. In Pnimis HaTorah, Rabbi Shimon reveals to us that there's 2 different spaces that Yid occupies. There's 2 different worlds. There's Pnimius Oilimus. There's Mechzav HaPnimi, the inner dimension of things. Mechzav HaNeshamas. And then there's something called Mechzav HaOilimus, the outer dimension of things. And these are 2 separate spaces. And some Neshamas come from the inner dimension, and some Neshamas come from the outer dimension. But Gamliel exists in that inner space. How do I know, says Yussie? Because look, the Shlita is feels Harav is Choiva. If it feels Harav is Choiva, that's because he's coming from that place of Pnimius. And the place of Pnimius, Meir is just as necessary Shabbos Mincha. Rabbi Yeshua is not existing in that space. Rabbi Yeshua is existing in the outer dimension of things. That's where he lives. Ba'araya, it feels Harav is Rishus. And in Nigla, it feels Harav is Taka should be Rishus. By bringing up this machlokas, Hashem is highlighting that they're in Pasha not talking to each other. What one is concerned, the concerns of one has no bearing in the reality of the other. Break it down like this. What is Rabbi Yeshua worried about with Rabbi Meir? He's worried about, well, if you talk like Ani, you talk with that confidence, with this very strong way of Guladik and Sheikh and David and Malchus, and it's going to check with the other side. The answer is, in the space that Rabbi Meir exists, there is no other side. The space Rabbi Meir occupies is a space of Pnimius. In that place, all there is the Shekhinah. And Fakir, if in that space where Rabbi Meir lives, the Shekhinah is not allowed to express herself, that's the greatest suffering of all. Dafka through the fact that Rabbi Meir holds, feels Arvis Choyva, that tells you that he's occupying an inner dimension that Rabbi Yeshua is pushing out there. And the concern that Rabbi Yeshua therefore has is irrelevant for Rabbi Meir. And in the space that Rabbi Meir is occupying, his avodah is 100% the right thing to do, and it's 100% safe. On the other hand, the concern that, where is Rabbi Yeshua coming from? Rabbi Yeshua is coming from a place of chitzonius. The riot feels Harav is Rishus. In that place, the avodah is the opposite. Over there, the avodah is to be kind gadol, that the Shlita has to be in hiding, and you have to be concerned about the other side, and you have to know how to navigate. And each one is 100% correct in the space that they live in. And there's no conflict at all. Everyone is just in their own universe. And in their own universe, they're doing exactly what has to be done. When Rabbi Meir realized, how does Rabbi Meir realize the importance of Rabbi Yeshua? So the Gemara says, a Ger Almighty comes, and the Ger Almighty wants to know if he can marry the fold. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Yeshua says he could. It says, Rabbi Meir, it's not true. It says, Almighty's not allowed. Said Rabbi Yeshua, no, they all went to Khal. It says Rabbi Meir, yeah, but they came back. Says Rabbi Yeshua, well, just like Khal didn't come back, so too Amma didn't come back. And the Mela, the Almighty is allowed to marry. You're the slave of it. But Rabbi Meir realizes that it's specifically through the space of Rabbi Yeshua, which is a space of recognizing Golos, that gives time for the Neshamas to find their way home. It gives time to allow the Ger to find his way back into the fold of the Jewish people. It's specifically because Mashiach is not here yet. The Gemara says that when Mashiach does come, you can't accept converts anymore. Because at that point, there's no opposition. In order for a neshama to become purified, in order for a ger to become purified, it has to force its way through opposition. It has to force its way through the soil, through the dirt, through the muck. When Mashiach comes, that's only possible in an outer space. In the space where there's soil, where there's muck, where there's garbage, where there's opposition, where there's manias, and the Shekhinah is not open and obvious, and everything is quiet over there, and the Shekhinah is not loud. It's after there that there's an opportunity for the Ger Almighty to come home to Knesset Yisrael. Therefore, Rabbi Meir realizing that what Rabbi Yeshua said was that Khal Yisrael didn't come back to Gula, didn't come home yet. Khal Yisrael didn't, the Gula hasn't happened to Khal Yisrael yet, and because of that, this Ger, Al Pi Halacha, is allowed to enter into the Jewish people. Rabbi Meir realizes the cheshivas of that outer space. And because of that, he says, okay, it's time to make shalom. And now each one appreciates the milas of the other. And whatever each one is concerned about, there's nothing to be concerned about. Rabbi Yeshua is right that you couldn't, that in of ani would be dangerous. But he's only right if that ani was in the outer space. But it's not. Rabbi Gamliel would be right that by not speaking, by not saying that ani, you're causing pain to the Shlita. You're holding back Geula. He's right only in the inner space, not in the outer space. In the outer space, it's fakert. You're allowing the shamas to find their way home. You're giving them the opportunity to find their own voice without Mashiach coming in. And each tzaddik has his own universe that he's operating in. And this is why ultimately the consensus was 3 weeks of Gamliel, 1 week of Elazar. That means a total of 4 weeks is a cycle. 4 is connected Yud Kei Vav Kei. The first 3 letters, Yud Kei Vav, is a dimension of Pneumius. The final Hey is the dimension of Chitzonius. Rabbi Gamliel, 3 weeks, Elazar Nazaria, the 4th. Because that's the point of it. The point is that each one is doing exactly what needs to be done in order for Gul to take place. Barachamim. Gul Barachamim means that the Shlita finds her voice and the Shamas find their way home. And it's all happening in each space that's necessary in a protected bubble that's good for that particular space. This is what it means, no kavod zevazem. Kavod zevazem means each one has its own space. That's kavod. Kavod means, give the person dollars. That's kavod. The most basic element of respect. Give the person space. Well, kavod zevazem means the Talmidei Rabbi Akiva did not realize. They thought they were all operating, they were all existing in the same space. It's not true. Hashem reveals to us that every yid is his own universe. And the avoid of one yid is perfectly attuned to that universe. And it will be absolutely destructive if it was a different universe. But guess what? It's not a different universe. It's his universe. Every yid is doing what their avoid is with Nishmas. And that's the side of Ezra and Nehemiah. The side of that Tekivas of Ani. On the one hand, in the universe that's healthy, and that hiding, that sort of acknowledging the concerns of Ani in that outer dimension of Rabbi Yeshua. And this is why Hashem Mevakshei brings Gul Barachamim. Because Gul Barachamim means it means the world getting ready for Gula in a way of where the Shlita finds her voice. In order for the Gula to take place in a way that's Rachamim, the Shlita has to find her voice even before Gula takes place. But in order for that to happen, without there being a concern of chutzpah on the Torah, we need a Rishon to clarify, no, every yid is a different universe, every base measure is a different universe, and everyone is 100% right and doing exactly what they need to do in their base measures, in their space. And therefore the whole Indian of looking at this person and saying, well, again, I'm not, I think it's obvious. We're talking about the Derech Avodah, the Dark Avodah that has a Messiah that's connected to Tzadikim. Once it's in that Indian of Dark Avodah of Tzadikim, then every Chatzar is his own Indian. And the concern of one is irrelevant in the space of the other. Hashem should bless us. I even learned this Torah and saying this Torah. We should give Hashem Baruch's attention. And Hashem Baruch should be Mavar and be a Shul Rahmana in this way to clarify to us, to the whole world, how Rabbi Gamliel's right. There has to be an ani, a kifos. There has to be an openness between us and Torah. There has to be, like Rabbi Gamliel said also, right, that everyone in these measures has to be toichik, or acres of cumies. That's the space Rabbi Gamliel occupies, as opposed to Rabbi Yeshua. So Rabbi Yeshua has to reveal that there's a space that's called cumies, and in that space, you learn cumies of Torah, you teach cumies of Torah, and there's no concern of chutzpah, of azus, of checking with the sitrach or in that space. And on the other hand, Rishon has revealed to us as well through a shliach of Meron Shalom, that those neshamas that are connected to the outside space, they're doing exactly what they need to do by acknowledging very much Esther upon it, by giving room for Esther upon it, thus allowing neshamas to have an opportunity to crawl their way back to Hashem and to find tikkunim, and in order to make sure that avodah of chitzonius is happening properly, that's their shlichus. Everyone has their shlichus. That's what Yussie refers to us. Through that, Shliach nachas ruach to the tzaddik, nachas ruach to all the tzaddikim, and when she was to the sheva bracha and the tzaddik that comes from that being counted amongst the chassidim and the tzaddikim of Mevakshei. Every year, no matter whether it's a Rabbi Shua based medrash, Rabbi Leilui based medrash, they're all talmidim ultimately, and they all find their own space and their avodah through this galus of Mevakshei. She was able to experience that in the niglim. Yes, go to the barach and Meir
Big shout out to Dr. Karen.